Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning. Probably I'm the last one before lunch, so and I'm a little bit behind, so I'll try to keep it short. As you see on the screen there, I basically represent Embraer Commercial Aviation division. Embraer is a bigger company than that, and that's why I put only the commercial aircraft portfolio that you see there, the E-175, the first generation of the Jets family, represented by the airplane on the left side of this slide, or to your right, actually. The new development, which is the Embraer Freighter program, and our leader program now, which is the Jet C2, represented by the airplane in the front. But Embraer is more than that, right? We are also a bigger company into military, into executive jets. As a matter of fact, the most sold executive jet in the world for 12 years in a row is the Phenom 300, which is one of our products, a light jet program. So Embraer is very successful as a company in different divisions of aviation, right? The KC-390 or the C-390, represented by the airplane here in the middle, is the airplane that we've been. It's achieving a successful sales record. More recently to the Netherlands, to Austria, to Hungary, and also to other NATO countries like in Korea. So this is really a very proud program for our company recently. And more than that, we have eVTOLs coming in the future, represented by the craft there on your left bottom side of the slide. So Embraer is a bigger company than commercial aviation, but I'll be now talking more about the commercial aviation division. Interesting fact, right? Embraer is a company many of you may not know, but we have managed to certify 20 aircraft in 21 years, one after the other, basically. It's a track record that's not beaten by any other OEMs, the bigger two OEMs in the industry, right, as Boeing and Airbus. But Embraer is a master of certifying and developing aircraft programs. This is not so well known in the industry. As of commercial aviation, this is our in-service portfolio these days, right? With the Jet C1 family, we have managed to achieve 2,300 aircraft in service these days, in over 60 countries, more than 100 airlines flying, many of which are flying here to the region, to Serbia, including Air Serbia as one of our customers, and Air Montenegro nearby, Bulgaria Air. So very successful program in commercial aviation. As a matter of fact, one of the most successful in the industry as well, after the 737s from Boeing, obviously, and the 320 from Airbus. The Jet C2, this is the leader program for commercial aviation of Embraer today. Many of you heard Richard from Kappa talking about decarbonization in our industry as a bigger target, right, to become green. So this product here, if you compare it to the first generation of the jets, the E1 family, the E195 E2 managed to save 25% fuel burn on a per seat basis. So it's a huge improvement on a program. It's better than our nearest competitors. And it's not only that, but you have a new interior, you have improved avionics, fly-by-wire, and so on. So it's really a state-of-the-art program that we are delivering to the market now. If you look only at the E2 program, which is a recent program, we have managed to deliver to 16 operators, over 100 aircraft flying right now. Mind that we have started to deliver this program just before the pandemic, so difficult times we faced in 2020, 2021 in terms of ramping up the deliveries, but now the program is getting a lot of traction. And you see big names in the program like ALM, like Porter in Canada, Binter in Spain, Scoot, Royal Jordanian. Just some recent announcements or recent achievements, right? We delivered the first aircraft to Royal Jordanian, the 195 V2, and these airplanes originally were in their mind, in Royal Jordanian, they were thinking of flying this program for short flights, 1 2 hours flights, but we are seeing more and more. I live in Amsterdam, and we are seeing more and more these airplanes flying from Jordan to Amsterdam, which is a longer than what they originally planned. So the airplane is really delivering and performing above expectation. This was 2 weeks ago in Brazil, delivery to Scoot is a big achievement for Embraer Commercial Aviation in Singapore. I used to be based in Singapore for many years myself, so I'm partially responsible for that, and we're really happy to have Scoot, which is a subsidiary of low-cost subsidiary of Singapore Airlines, flying now the E-Jet C2. KLM, interesting to see what they are doing with this aircraft, and more than that, the statement, if you note at the bottom here, up to 30% CO2 emission reduction per passenger kilometer. This is a statement from KLM, it's not us. So on a side meeting with them, they managed to say that this aircraft is delivering them the most profitability in their network right now. We talked about green aviation, right? Again, just to reinforce, if you compare the second generation of the 195 with the first one, in 1 year, you can save up to 2 tons of CO2, which is equivalent to $300,000 savings only on emission-related costs alone in Europe. Not only that, this airplane is the quietest aircraft in the segment. It managed to exceed expectations on the ICAO standards, Chapter 14. I don't know if you had a chance to fly on it, but you take off talking to your friend on a very low noise environment. Now, how it compares to other aircraft, right? If you look to the left side of the slide, you will see how the 195 E1 used to compare with what we call the previous generation narrow body, like a typical 320ceo or a 737 NG. And we did have an advantage on the cost per trip side, right? It's a smaller product, but on the cost per seat, the E1 generation, it's on a higher side. Obviously, there's no magic, it's simple physics. But with the 195 E2 on the right side of the slide, we managed to close that gap on the cost per seat very significantly, right? Why is that? Because when you look at the bigger narrow bodies, what they did with the re-engine of the Neo, on the Max, that was more or less what they did to the aircraft, and Embraer did much more than that on the E2 generation, right? So we not only improved, we upgraded the engines to GTF, but we did improvements on the fly-by-wire. We designed a totally new wing, is the highest aspect ratio wing in the industry these days. So we managed to close the gap significantly to bigger airplanes, to the point that low-cost carriers like Scoot in Singapore now is starting to look at this airplane to operate and to develop new routes on a lower cost per seat basis. Now, coming to the region, this is our presence, Embraer Commercial Aviation. We're happy to have Air Serbia here as a customer. They started to fly the jets last year, and they are looking now to improve, to increase that, to expand that partnership. Very happy to work with Irgi in the team. And when you look at what the jets are doing in and out of the region, actually, there are, many of you may not know, but there are over 140 routes supported by E-Jets, with 20 airlines flying in and out in Southeast Europe. So we have a quite interesting presence. We think it can grow much more. There's a lot going on in the region. We've been following, we've been monitoring the growth, the impressive growth that is happening here in Serbia especially. And if you look at the breakdown of those operations, basically by airline, right, outside Southeast Europe, you see how many of them are flying with sub-150 seaters, right, being the E-Jet C1, E2, or our competitor 220 from Airbus. So you see that there's a significant amount of flights that some of these flag hub carriers are deploying to the region, connecting to their hub. So it's really, the jets are really working for them, and Irgi also work for a lot, and you see there the impressive amount of connectivity that is generated with the jets, and I think this is a possibility in the region as well, as Belgrade becomes more and more of a hub in the region. when we look at the region, right, in terms of the recovery, I will not just repeat what Richard from Kappa said, but basically, again, Southeast Europe and especially Serbia has performed better in terms of recovery than Europe region, right? We are monitoring close, we are working with our partners, and we see our jets as the perfect tool to improve connectivity in the region by opening new routes with a lower cost base, building connectivity as a hub, and also helping to manage seasonality, right? If you pay attention to what Richard presented before, there's a high seasonality in the region, and sometimes you have a bigger plane that will fly empty during the off-season, so it's better maybe to have an average, smaller plane that can fly most of the time full with competitive cost base. I want to close with this slide, which is an interesting photo. We had a demonstration tour here in Belgrade in 2019 with the Embraer team, and we are very happy to be in the region to bring, to increase our presence, to improve our partnership and for the future. So thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you.